Hi everyone, it's Leslie and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a little Valentine's Day project. I've made a few of these and I just worked on this pattern and I think it's really kind of neat. So this is a pin made with number 8 size seed beads. I've put a pin back on the back and the finished size is about 2 inches across. That's about 5 centimeters, and about 2 inches this way. So it would make quite a statement on a sweater or a jacket. I think these are really neat. So we'll go over this. This will be peyote stitch with increases and decreases. Okay, let's talk about materials. I've got 2 colors of number 8 seed beads. I'm using Dynamites by Matsuno of Japan. These are pretty regularly shaped. The only thing I would say is use 2 colors that are of similar sizes. This one you can see I did with the gold and the silver are really different types of beads, and I had a little more trouble with the tension on that, making it lay flat. So just make sure they're kind of the same size and shape type of bead. I've got a number 10 beading needle and a couple of arm's lengths of 6-pound fireline. I am recommending fireline for this one. And I've also got pin backs. You can use ones that are between an inch, between an inch and 1.25 inches. So that's 2.5 to 3 centimeters. And that's it. So the first thing we're going to do is put on 31 beads. And we're going to take this and make a loop and go through 1 bead to make a loop. So this is going to be 9 rows of peyote stitch, and it's going to be really specific what we're going to be doing. So I'll stay with you. I am not a knot tier. If you feel like you need to tie a knot, I avoid tying knots whenever possible. So you can just see I'm kind of holding the tail between my pinky and ring finger. So I kind of hold it down there while I'm going around the first row. So like I said, this is going to be very specific. And I'm going to go every other row. What I did with these is I went every other row with a different color. So that'll make it really distinct what I'm doing. So we've got 9 rows of peyote. This is rows 1 and 2. So we're going to start with row 3. Okay, so what we're going to do with these red is I'm going to peyote 3 regular peyote stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now we have reached the bottom of the heart down here. So I'm going to pick up 2, and I'm going to put those 2 through the very next bead. And that's going to make that shape on the bottom of the heart. Like that. They should sit just like that. I want to make sure you can see that. Okay. Now, so we come down and then we're going to go up the other side. So we're going to do 3 peyote again, regular peyote stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's what it's going to look like. Now come the increases to go around this curve. So pick up 2, skip a bead, and go in the next one. So you're making 2 beads over 1. And we're going to do that 3 times. 1, pick up 2 again, increase over 1. So you're shoving 2 beads into that peyote space. And this is going to make that nice curve around. Do that 3 times. It's going to be a little wonky. Don't worry about that. I'll talk to you about tension a little later. So it's going to look like that. Now, peyote one more. One regular stitch, like that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to skip a bead and decrease. So don't pick up any beads, skip over and go in the next one. And that is going to make our little tip. That's our little tip in the center. That's the center bead. So now we're going to mirror what we did on the other side. We've got one plain peyote stitch, like this, and then we've got those 3 increases to do again. Are you ready? Okay. 2 over 1, 2 over 1, 2 over 1, and step up into the red bead. See that? We're stepping up to row 4. Okay, give each of those threads a tug. You're going to see that this is a little wonky. It's a little wobbly. There's a lot of beads kind of put in there. That was a lot of increasing. That's okay. We're going to work on straightening this out. All right, so the next row is going to be blue row. So we're going to peyote 1, 2, 3 down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, like that. We're going to make that same increase at the bottom. So pick up 2 and go in the very next bead. Those beads just kind of stack on top of each other down at the bottom there, like that. Okay, and then continue with peyote until you reach those increases. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here we are. Now, you're going to put a blue bead in between each of those increases. So 1 bead between each of the 2 red, and then 1 over the blue next to it. Let's do that again. I'm going to do that every time. 1 between each of the red, and 1 in between. 1 more time, and into that red there. Okay, we've got a lot of beads going on here. It's kind of bending back and forth. That's okay. We're going to spend the next several rows flattening all that out. Now we're going to decrease again. So you're going to jump over to the same color bead on the other side, in this case red, and it's going to shove those beads together. See how it pushes them together to make the center of that heart? Now let's continue around with that. Blue bead, and 1 between in the increases. One between the 2 red, and into the next stitch. And 1 last blue into the red and step up. Don't forget to step up for the next row. All right, we have got 4 rows, and it's kind of wobbly and weird. So over the next several rows, you're going to just kind of feel into this. You're going to be flattening it as you go with your fingers. And I'll be talking about that. You'll feel the rows where it wants to kind of curve, and you're just going to keep that tension so it stays flat. You want this to stay flat. Okay, so the next row is red. This is row 5. Peyote down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Again, the same increase at the bottom. And for the rest of this, you're going to put 1 bead in every space between every blue bead, except for the center. I'll go up to the center and we'll go over that. All right, we're peyoting 1 per space all the way around. One per space, and then you're going to get into that blue bead and again decrease. So jump over to the next one. See how that's looking? Like that. Now I'll meet you at the end of this row. Keep going around 1 bead at a time and step up, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm back. We've got 5 rows here. You know how to count the rows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 rows. So now we're going to go to row 6. Again, whoops, sorry, this is a blue row. Okay. Here we go. Peyote down to the bottom. Our same increase at the bottom. 2 beads in the very next bead. So they sit right on top of each other. Peyote up the side. All right, let's see, we did 5. That was 5. Now, you're going to increase in the same places you increased before. So here, see where the last increase was? And here, and here. So we're going to increase, we're doing blues, so you're going to put 2 beads in that space. Peyote 1 regular, whoops, keep with the blue, Leslie. That's where we increased before. We're going to increase in the same place. 2 blue. Stay over there. And again, 1 here. You're basically increasing every other. And for your guide, look where you increased before. So you're increasing in the same place that you increased. We're back at the top. Again, decrease in the same way. Pull those beads right together. We're pulling them down. You'll feel this starting to kind of flatten in your hand. Keep that tension so the heart stays flat. Again, we're going to do the same on the other side. We're increasing where we increased before. 1 peyote stitch. Increase. And I can feel it wanting to curve, but don't do that. Keep it flat. And increase again. And then we've got 1, 2 regular peyote and step up. Looking pretty good, right? You can kind of press it flat on your hand. That's the tension you want to have. That's pretty good. So now we've got 6 rows laid in. 3 more to go. And we're going to be basically continuing around in the same way. So for this next row, we're going to do exactly what we did before. We're going to put one bead per space, but in the increases, we're going to add a bead between the increases. This is just keeps making it bigger. This is a red row. Peyote down to the bottom. Stay over there. Okay, 2 at the bottom in the exact same way. Peyote stitch up the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pushing it. 6. That's a lot to pull through. Okay, we're here at our, and make sure those beads sit right in those spaces. There we go. Okay, we're back here at our increase. We're going to put one between, a red one between. Now this time, you're going to peyote 2 regular stitches till you get to the next increase. Just make sure that that bead sits between the 2 increases. 1 between the increases, sit right there. 2 regular peyote stitches. 1 between the increase, and jump over to the next side. Again, we're doing that decrease. Forcing those beads down and together into the middle. Now continue around, and I'll meet you at the other side. 1 bead in between the increases, and don't forget to step up. Okay, here we are again at the end of row 7. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. It might want to cup a little bit. Like I said, kind of press it flat with your hand. That's looking really nice. We've only got 2 more rows to go. Now, this next row is going to be a blue row, and we're basically going to be putting 1 between every peyote stitch in the row before. We're going to put 2 at the bottom again, and we're going to knit these together at the center. I see that one of my beads is not sitting right here. Let's just make sure all the beads are sitting right too. That one should be sitting between those 2. There. So you can check that too on yours. So this is a blue row for me. I'm going to start going around, and I'll show you the top center one. Picking up 2 at the bottom, and I'll meet you up at the top. Okay, so I was saying I would meet you at the top. Here I am. And again, you've got this one last sew through and shove those beads together. Now see what happened when I did that? It kind of cupped a little bit. You don't want to do that. Let it sit flat. There will be a little space here. That's okay. Let that be. And continue around with blue. And don't forget to step up, and I'll talk to you about the last row next. Okay guys, this is it. The last row. This is looking very striking. I really do like this red and blue color. Now for the last row, we're going to be in red, and we're going to continue this pattern of increasing that we have been doing. So we're going to peyote down to the bottom. Since this is the last row, we're only going to lay 1 bead. This will be the little bottom tip bead. So just put 1 bead in the bottom. And that will kind of finish that off. See how nice that looks? Continue to peyote around, up the side. All right. And then you're going to get to the place where we increased before. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. in this row. And here we are at the place where we have increased before. And again, we're going to do one more increase. That space is just big enough. But on this row, there's only going to be 2 of these, one here and one here. The other one is kind of already gone into the center, so you're just going to have 2 increases. So there's the increase, peyote regular 2, another increase of 2, then peyote 2, and now we're down at the center, and you're going to come out of there and go, okay, now what? What I would suggest is just skipping across, go through all 3 of those beads, so we maintain the shape of our heart. You know, we maintain a little curve here in the center. There will be a tiny bit of space here between the threads. That's okay. I think it's perfectly fine because it really makes that little bow shaped at the top. And we're going to continue this pattern until the end, and I'll stay with you. And see what I just did? I just pulled that and it went, don't let it do that. Again, keep it flat. Did I do it right? Yes, okay. 2, in the same place where we increased before. 2, so peyote 2, increase, peyote 2, increase, over the last increase place. And then we've just got a last few peyote stitches. And there we have it. Now, the last thing you should do is go around and reinforce all the way around the outside, just to have some reinforcement. So that's what I like to do. Go around this last row with your last bit of thread, just to reinforce that outside row. And tie in your original thread, and you're ready to go. I think this would look really cute on a Valentine also. You could do that. You could glue it to a Valentine. I did glue the pin back on, but you could also sew it on. Use a little E6000 for gluing it on. You put a little on. You put a little on the pin back. You put a little strip right here and just glue it right on there. You can do that. Actually, it should go like that. You can do that, or if you're picky, you can also sew it, whichever you'd like to do. I think it would look great on a jacket or a hat or anywhere for Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe. And if you post a photo of this on social media, please do tag me at CBeadBliss. Thank you so much. Until next time.